It's easy to get caught up in the fantasy realm of the game, the rivalries, the scores, but behind each and every player and coach is an individual who may be fighting a different kind of battle at home.
When I was coaching at CC, every now and then my heart would race at really high rate to like 220, just sitting there. It would eventually dissipate and go back to normal. Probably a good year before I really felt like, got to do something about this. So then it became a little bit more of a concern because it started to happen more frequently.
Continuing to coach, RJ's heart beat for the sake of the game, but his dangers inside grew too loud to ignore.
Coming back from a road trip, it was like 3 a.m. I was lying in bed, my heart started racing. It lasted for hours and hours and hours, so fast and so hard. My poor wife, she could feel it in the bed. It's like, okay, we're going to the hospital. We went to the emergency room. They had to restart my heart. It didn't stop, so I'd gotten an ablation. They basically said we needed to do it like immediately. We need to get you up to Denver. You know, you're not in a good state.
Waiting to be transported to Denver, RJ was faced with the crossroads of the unknown.
So much of your life flashes. My daughters were coming up to see me.
It's a really jarring experience to see your parents vulnerable.
It's gut-wrenching. How is someone so strong and so brave laying here unable to do anything?
In Denver, RJ underwent a cardiac MRI, revealing the gravity of his condition, as well as his heart's underlying birth defect.
The cardiologist that came around my bed, we've got to come right through here. I said, so open heart surgery?
RJ had gone his entire life unaware of his heart's congenital defect, a bicuspid aortic valve. Simply put, RJ had 2 flaps on his heart instead of the normal 3. Without an open heart surgery, his days were limited.
It was an eye-opening moment when you stare your mortality down. About 5 months.
5 months, the length of a college hockey season. And in January of 2020, the amount of time doctors gave RJ to live. Just 8 weeks later, the onset of the pandemic pushed RJ's time frame in life to its limits.
It just didn't seem like it was time, and I wanted more.
Everything was kind of coming down at once. The world stopped, and I didn't want that to stop my dad from reaching something that was going to save his life.
It was very hard to rest and sleep, have a thought past whether or not I was going to be here anymore.
After countless delays, a surgery date was set. The night before filled the Enga home with prayers, love, and the possibility of those moments being forever goodbye.
My daughters had come over, and family had come over at different times, and I just didn't want it to be goodbye. I wanted to make sure that the people that I loved so much that they knew.
He gave me and my sister a card, and just reading the card, I lost it. It was just him expressing his love and his faith.
But they made a really nice book for me, Bible verses that we had read together. They said, hey Dad, you know what, you're gonna be good? Well, you can read those when you get up.
Those Bible verses were pillars of hope for RJ as he faced his life-altering procedure in the midst of the pandemic, like a lone soldier entering the battle almost all alone.
That was hard not to be right there.
Basically, she dropped me at the curb, and off we go into the operating room. And they told me to count down. I think I got to 10, and I was out. My poor family had to wait 9 hours to find out whether I made it. It was really hard for me for a long time to think about. It still obviously gets me.
With a new mechanical heart valve comes a new lease on life and new challenges as RJ faced the road to recovery.
I couldn't explain the pain. Like, would it have been easier if they just couldn't revive me?
It was really tough for him to climb out of it and want to keep pushing forward. As he healed, his mind healed.
The way that he was able to embrace and move through change was really inspiring. The most graceful thing that you can do is to lean into it and understand what's in store for you afterwards is going to be just as important, and it's going to reveal new things to you.
There's some life-changing things that happen, but they happen for a reason. I was so thankful that I was still there. I still had breath in my body, and my heart was working, and I couldn't wait to feel the ice under my feet and a pair of skates.
His heart, once strained, now beats with new strength, new purpose, and for RJ, a new beginning at St. Cloud State.
To have his demeanor and his approach at life is something we all hope to get one day, and we're just really thankful we get to grow up as young men with him.
He's a guy that definitely coaches with the heart first. He cares about the players more than anybody. The players can feel that.
Knowing what he's gone through, you know that he's not just saying things to say things.
He's got a second chance on life. The attributes that he's given me is trying to make yourself better every day, not just hockey-wise. He's one of those guys that you want to have in your environment, and it makes you want to go to work every single day.
RJ's sheer love for the game runs deep, but his passion for the people who make the game come alive lies beyond the wins and losses.
He loves the sport, but he also just loves the people and he loves the community.
He's a coach, but he's also kind of like your best friend. Last year, my dad, he had a blood clot in one of his arteries. Fast forward, surgery goes well. Me, my dad, and RJ are just all talking. It was cool for me listen to RJ talk about how blessed we are to live this life. My dad said afterward, as a parent, I wouldn't want anyone else to coach my kid. My dad hasn't talked to him a lot, but in the short time that he did, he made a huge impact on him.
He would drop everything for us, and I know that he would do that for the players too. That's just who he is. He's going to care about hockey more than anybody, and he's going to care about people more than anybody.
Coaching is RJ's lifeline, but returning to the sport came with risk. Ultimately, a risk worth taking to give back to the sport that gave him so much.
Coaching is exactly where he needs to be in life.
If this is my calling, I can't shut it off. I love the game. If I can help the players, that is really where my passion lies, and I'm here to serve.
RJ Enga has the heart of a servant, a beat that extends beyond his body, choosing to live his life to the fullest with the people he loves most, one heartbeat at a time.
I don't take any day for granted anymore. I don't take for granted that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. All too often we get caught up into our daily grind. For me, it's like, great. I'll take the good, the bad. The fact that I'm here, able to feel that is amazing.
His outlook on life is truly different. It's his approach day to day. He's just a happy, positive influence on every life he touches.
He's fought really hard, and he can still go about his day with love and joy. Every conversation that we have now, it's so much more meaningful.
Those little tiny gifts that you're given, appreciate them. Time goes like that. Let's be excited that we're here. We get to enjoy a company, and in a weird way, you get to enjoy, you know what, it was a tough day.
His perspective of life, that every day is important, and that our family, our friendships, our relationships with the players, those are the most important things in life. I think that's kind of his legacy. He wants to make sure he passes that on to people.
The night before my surgery, all I could think about were my relationships with people. I didn't think about big wins or big moments. It was all relationship based. The most precious thing in life are your relationships. It's amazing to be on earth and live and enjoy everybody that you're around.